Right guys, today we've been left in charge of the channel. While Kate's off gallivanting in the mud with her friends, I'm out riding a pair of Heroes. We've got the Hero XPulse and the Hero XPulse Pro, and I'm pretty excited about this. I do like the small CC bikes for off-road. I feel like they just make more sense. On paper, they sound phenomenal, and the price is even better. But the question is, are these bikes actually any good? Or are they just good because of the price? Let's find out. The Hero XPulse range arrives in the UK with two versions available. The standard XPulse 200 priced at $2,699 on the road, while the more off-road focused XPulse Pro 200 comes in at $2,899 on the road. Powering both bikes is a 200cc single-cylinder engine producing 18.9 horsepower and 17.35 Nm of torque. The only difference between the two models is the suspension setup. The standard XPulse uses 37mm telescopic front forks, offering 190mm of travel, while the rear gets a preload adjustable monoshock. Stepping up to the XPulse Pro, you get fully adjustable front suspension with much longer 250mm travel, alongside a Pro adjustable rear monoshock, aimed more towards riders spending time tackling rough terrain and trails. Braking remains the same across both models, while the standard bike carries a seat height of 825mm, with the Pro jumping significantly to 891mm, which could be worth considering if you are shorter. For reference, I'm 5'11" with a 31-inch inseam, and this is how I look sat on both bikes. Both models are distributed in the UK through MotoGP and come back by a 2-year warranty. Right, enough talking, let's see what they're like on the road and in the dirt. Hey guys, we're here on the Hero XPulse and the Hero XPulse Pro launch in the UK. They've run it from Inch Perfect Trials, and we've started the day off on the little Hero XPulse 4V normal one to start with. We're going to jump on the Pro a bit later, so I thought I'd do this one first to give you my thoughts on it before we get on the jacked up more meatier one. So this one does come in at £2,500 plus on the road, so it is a remarkably cheap bike, but it's going to be a bit of a hard audience, I think, because it's essentially just above a 125 bike, so that the audience for something like this is not going to be massive. I do think the CVT option should be up to 200cc anyway now. Now that they've removed 2 strokes off, we should be allowed to ride these on a CVT. It's not fast, not much faster than a 125. The engine is surprisingly smooth though. Now this one does have a seat height of only 225mm, so it is rather small, but in losing that seat height, you're also losing ground clearance. So it does only have a 220mm ground clearance, because there's got to be trade-offs. But it is quite comfy to ride, you know. The seat doesn't feel horrendous. You do have to be high up in the revs to make it go. We did a jump! We did our first jump! We did a little jump! This is a beautiful spot. It really is. We did a little jump. We did little jumps. It does very much feel like a bit quicker 125. Up at 9,000 you can feel a little bit, but not enough to even comment on it really. But this is quite a steep hill, and it's got plenty of torque just to pull up that hill. Like, this is quite a steep hill, and it's not struggling in the slightest. It's a wet old day in Lancashire today. The mirrors are big enough and clear enough. Do you know what? The seat is surprisingly comfortable.
I've got to say that. And it's got a much bigger tank than I expected. Like, the tank isn't big in the slightest. Like, it looks like it's got a pretty small tank, but it's 13 litres. I'm kind of getting old CG125 vibes off this bike, but quicker. Maybe like for how it rides, how it feels. Right, we're gonna go past. We're going for an overtake. We're going. We're doing it. We're going. It's flying. It's mooring. 60 mile an hour. Look at this. It's just easy. It's only a 5-speed. I was expecting 6 gears. It's mooring. It doesn't struggle to get to 60. I wouldn't imagine it's got much after that because the revs was quite high. The revs was up in the red line. It's a fun little bike. The brake's a little bit far out, and the clutch needs adjusting. But that's just stuff you do. The dash could do with being a little bit brighter. But no, it feels, on these back roads, it feels very composed and very, very stable. It doesn't feel like it wants to be out of shape at all. I do love small bikes though. Put me on a small CC bike and I'll love it all day long. Like 61 on the speedo is 7,000 RPM with a red line of 9.5, 10ish. It's not really got that much more after that, but it's 200cc, so it's kinda expected. I think it might be good off-road, you know, just with how the suspension is. Let's do a brake test. Brakes are pretty good, but even in road mode, the back wheel's locking up. Like, even in road mode, the back wheel isn't, the ABS isn't working. And I'm a bit scared to test the front ABS now after that. It keeps doing skids. We're going for a top speed run. We're going for a top speed run. We're gonna do it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Flat out. Flat out. We're going. We're going. We got full tuck. We're full tucked. We got 60. Oh, yeah, 60 is all it's got. 60 is all it's got. We're gonna have to drop a gear. We are flat out. It's not got any more. I was expecting to pull to at least 70 speedo speed, but it is pretty windy. We'll get full tucking. Oh, it's going, it's still climbing, 7,500 RPM. Time to ride the bigger one. We're on the Hero XPulse Pro, and it is noticeably different. It feels much bigger. Now this one's got 270mm ground clearance, which is a whopping 5 centimeters taller. It's essentially the same bike, but with much longer suspension. Now this one does have quite a high seat height. It does sit at 890mm. It is a big boy, not far off enduro bike sizes. Now the main difference is this has got much bigger suspension. Like on the rear, it does have a very similar shock with just preload adjustment, but the front comes with much longer stanchions and cartridge internals, so it does have compression and rebound damping. And I did a little jump like that, and it worked pretty well. The suspension is quite firm. Like it's not got your flippity floppity loosey goosey suspension as you'd think. It is quite hard, which on the road is quite nice because it makes it stable. Now this does have 2 to 3 inch bar risers on, which bring the bars a little bit higher, which I do quite like because it puts my arms in a nice slight downwards angle. The other one I was a little bit reachy down, but this one doesn't have it. You do have to wring its neck. You've got to make this little engine work for its money. So I have found out, I asked the questions, and it only has ABS on the front, so it doesn't have any ABS on the rear. So I'm not too sure what the modes are. It's got road mode, off-road and rally mode. So I'm guessing off-road turns the front ABS off. So I'm not sure what rally mode does. We're heading back because this is a big rain. It's pissing down. It's pissing. Look at this. This is big boy rain. We are now heading to do a little bit of light off-roading to see what they're about. I've chose to start on the Hero XPulse Pro just because it's got that little bit more suspension and it's got that little bit more off-road feel. I wonder how deep that river's going to be. It seems quite well balanced, this bike. Like, it's not, on the slow technical stuff, it's not that bad getting the front end up and down. The suspension is quite firm. Like, I'm 90 kg and it does ping you off quite a bit. Let's see what it's like when I pick up the speed a bit. It's not a bad bike to ride. Like I say, the suspension is a bit firm. It's not the easiest. And the foot pegs are a little bit, I don't know, we've took the rubbers out the foot pegs because they are removable. But yeah, it handles alright. It's not bad at all, really. And this is just on 50/50 tyres. The tyres aren't off-road base. But when you get the speed up a little bit, it is a bit easier. I think novices might struggle just because it's firm, unless they're a bit of a weight. Well, no, the riding position's alright. The foot pegs do feel a little bit odd, but not bad. The clutch is light enough. The front brake lever is quite far out, so I've got extra large hands and I can only just reach it with my finger, not tippy fingers. I can only just reach it with my tippy fingers with one finger, but it does work very well. This is deep. You alright? They crash quite well, don't they? Look at that though, there's not even any damage. Oh, can you push that down with your foot? One sec. One sec, watch your foot. There you go. You should be able to change gear now. Are you alright? Yeah. Where are you from?
Originally in the States.
Oh, nice.
Texas.
Why would you come here?
I question that sometimes.
Was it too warm?
Yeah.
Do you have too much nice weather?
I was too happy.
Yeah. Now this can be a problem. They just don't start. You have to give it. You have to blip the throttle to start it quite often. That is one of the cons of the bike. Oh. Whew. Yeah, it's not a bad bike off-road. Now the suspension is quite firm. Even for me, I was having to... It doesn't take the small bumps very well. It is a fun little bike and it is very, very cheap. I do feel like it could be a fantastic introduction to off-roading kind of bike. Something that someone can buy who doesn't have a mass amount of money but they want to give it a try. I think it's not got too much power to whiskey throttle, but it's not too expensive because it does have a pretty good riding position. Now, I've not ridden the lower one off-road yet, but a few of them did say that they did catch their feet in the ruts, so that could be a problem. You want a bike that you don't want to be hitting your feet on, but the hardest thing is with seat height you have ground clearance, so it's hard to get a low seat height and a high ground clearance, and that's the goal for the optimum off-road bike, right? The little leg people are at a massive disadvantage because they don't have the ease of just stamping a foot down when it does get a bit wrong. Right, we just swapped over to the lowered standard Hero XPulse, and we're going to see how this one is. Oh, this one starts. That's a bonus, right? It starts. It's mental how much difference in height is. They've gone from 825 to 890. That is a massive jump in suspension. The bars feel, after riding that one, because I've been on that one for a while, the XPulse Pro for a while, the bars feel, it feels like I'm more leaned forward now. The Pro is definitely a more comfortable riding position over the standard one, and you can really feel the weight on the front end more on this one. The front end is a lot lighter on the Pro version. It does sit you back more, it pushes you back more like that. The riding position feels much better, really. It's just a better riding position. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is nice. Oh, that's pretty slippy. So, we've been out riding today. We've done a little bit of road riding, a little bit of off-road riding, as you've just seen. And I'm just about to go through my pros and cons of what I like and what is not my favourite. So we'll do the cons first. My first cons is the starting. Sometimes when you're trying to fire it up, you have to give that bit of a throttle blip, and it will just keep turning over otherwise. The other thing is when it does get a bit wet, the rubber foot pegs can be quite slippy, so your foot does slip off, but they are removable, so it's not really an issue. You just take them out and then just not have rubber foot pegs in. And only having 19 horsepower, I feel like if it had another 5 horsepower or so, it would be that little bit more interesting. But then I think if it was 25 horsepower, then it'd be, or if it could only have another 5, and I think it would just keep going on forever. So it can't really be that much of an issue. But off-road, you do have to wring its neck to get it moving. Now, the pros, I really like the Pro. But I really do like the Pro. With the longer suspension travel, I feel like you can ride it that little bit harder, and you've got a lot more confidence because you've got the ground clearance. You know you're not going to hit any ruts with the pegs, you're not going to bottom out, and the suspension works that little bit better because it's got that much more travel. I really like the riding position of the Pro because it does have the bar raisers on, what bring them up about 2 inches, and they just feel like a much comfier ride and a much more stable bike. And also, with it being so much higher, just better wheelies. But yeah, I've really enjoyed my day riding these. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. I think she'll make something like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice, mate. Yeah. It's good.
It's because I'm not used to it. It's so scary, man.